The city that wakes up inside the tree. It was a huge ancient tree standing at the edge of a clearing for so many years that no one remembered when it first appeared. Its trunk was wide and warm, the bark shaped by time, covered with moss and thin cracks, where morning dew gathered. To a passerby, it was just an old tree. But inside, deep beneath the bark, a different life quietly existed. When the first rays of sunlight slipped between the branches and the mist slowly rose from the ground, tiny lights began to glow in the city inside the tree. At first, only the quietest ones. A small bakery near the inner roots began to breathe with warmth. The oven crackled softly, and the smell of fresh bread drifted through the narrow wooden streets. The baker, an old man with a white beard, woke before dawn, found his apron by touch, and gently kneaded the dough, listening to the tree creak as it woke alongside him. Higher up, on the second level, shutters of small homes built into the tree rings slowly opened. Faces appeared in the windows, sleepy, calm, familiar. Some stretched, some put kettles on the fire. Others simply stood by the window, listening to the forest. The city never woke up suddenly. Everything here moved slowly, as if time itself respected the morning silence. Along the central spiral staircase, winding along the inner wall of the trunk, the first lantern keepers climbed upward. They extinguished the night lamps filled with fireflies, placing them into glass jars and whispering thanks, as if the lights could hear. Outside, birds began calling to one another. Their voices passed through the wood, growing softer, as though the tree itself joined their song. In the city, everyone knew. Loud singing meant warmth. Careful notes meant rain. On the lower level, closer to the roots, the market awakened. Stalls opened one by one. The herbalist arranged dried leaves. The mushroom gatherer polished small caps from the riverbank. And an old woman with kind eyes placed jars of honey that smelled of flowers and sun. Children ran out of their homes, hair tousled, not fully awake. They raced across narrow bridges between hollow spaces, laughing softly. Careful not to be too loud, the forest disliked sharp sounds in the morning. In the school, carved into the thickest part of the trunk, the teacher laid out books made of bark and dried leaves, decorated with drawings of mushrooms, insects, and stars. Here, children learned not only to read and count, but to listen to the wind, the tree, and one another. As the sun rose higher, the city brightened without lamps. Light slipped through natural openings in the bark, turning golden and soft. Dust floated slowly, as if dancing. Deep inside, near the heart of the tree, lived the keeper. She rarely appeared, but everyone knew if you pressed your ear to the wall in silence, you could hear her calm footsteps. She felt the tree, like the breathing of someone loved, knowing when it needed water, when to wait out a storm, and when to open to the sun. By midday, the city lived its usual life. Some repaired stairways, fitting pieces of bark together. Others sewed clothes from plant fibers. In the glassmaker's workshop, clear sap melted into windows and lanterns, filling the air with warmth and resin. Sometimes guests arrived squirrels, birds, even rare beetles. Small homes and feeders were made for them. The city never closed itself off from the forest. It belonged to it. Toward evening, the light changed. It turned amber, shadows stretched, work ended, and the smell of food returned. Lamps glowed in homes, quiet conversations and soft laughter filled the air. Outside, the forest grew still. The wind brushed the crown of the tree. Leaves whispered. Inside, windows closed. Lanterns warmed the city with gentle light. Before sleep, many visited a small viewing opening high in the trunk where the sky was visible. The stars felt close, as if the tree held them there just for the city. At night, when the forest slept, the city became even quieter. Only the night watchman's steps, a rare creak of wood, and a distant owl reminded them that life continued. The tree breathed. The city slept. The forest embraced them both. And when, at dawn, the first rays of sunlight touched the bark again, everything began once more calm, warm, and unnoticed by those passing by, never knowing that inside the old tree, an entire world had long been alive.